Hello everyone, this is Flower Child 567. It's nice to see you. Hi Visionary, hi Crazy Fighter, welcome. And as you probably know, today is my story time, Tamriel Story Hour, and I have lots and lots of lore planned out for you today, so I'm really excited to share that. And we're focusing on a specific group. So hey, check out what I'm wearing. Can you guess what group we're going to be focusing on? Oh, I just turned around. I just turned my back on you. Hold on. There you go. Can you guess what group I'm going to be focusing on? Well, let me tell you, if you guessed MORAG TONG, you're correct. If you guessed assassin, you're correct. If you guessed the Dark Brotherhood, you are correct. And hi, Cross Thread. So today, Tamriel story time is going to be focusing on this class. Yeah. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open this up. Let's light the candles. Let's open it. Let's get our tome opened. Oh yes, I love all of that. That's my little opening. Yeah, there we are. Yes. Nice, huh? Okay. Here we are, and I guess I'll just share it before anybody is curious about it, but I am wearing the Grim Harlequin motif outfit today, and of course I dyed it in just two colors, a really dark, beautiful green, which you can't really tell, but if I'm in daylight you can. And actually it is the Covenant blue, so it's not, I'm not keeping with the red, the Ebonheart pack, the red of the Ebonheart pack. Well, and assassins usually are all black, but you know what? It's so boring. Okay, and then I am wearing the face markings and the body markings of the MORAG Tong. So, hi. Welcome, T-Jard, and also Supreme Goddess and Indian Chief. And Cross Thread, I think I said hi already, but in case I didn't, hi. So that's the outfit I'm wearing today, because it's in honor of what I'm going to be sharing with you. All right, so you know what? I think I'm going to come over here and stand. Look at how I'm going to sneak up, sneak. All right, here we go. I'll just stand right here for a bit. All right, so we're going to be looking at MORAG Tong. That's right. You got it. And MORAG Tong, it's Dark Elfish for Foresters Guild, but it is an ancient guild, a very ancient guild of assassins out of Morrowind, and they celebrate murdering. They really do, and they murder in the name of Mephala. Okay, so that's easy enough. That information's easy enough to find out. You just Google it. And they also are aligned with the Dread Father Sithis, which today I'm not going to go so much into Sithis, because I'm going to use that to segue into the Argonians, which I'll focus on in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be focusing on Dark Elves next week, and then I'll be focusing on Argonians the following week. Or at least that's my intention right now. But the one thing I do want to say about the MORAG TONG before I start our first book today is that as an assassin guild, I mean, ultimately, you know, they pledge themselves to Mephala, as we've already talked about, and we're going to look at Mephala, and I'm going to also share with you a couple of areas. Like I would like to share with you where the Black Brotherhood, because that's what this is in. Assassins are in the Black Brotherhood. I'm going to show you where that is also. So if you open your map and you go over here to the Gold Coast, all right, and you come in right there where that hand is, because that is the icon for the Dark Brotherhood, right? And right there is where a person, this Gold Coast is where a person needs to go in order to become part of the Dark Brotherhood. And I'll tell you right away that you have to go into the Assassin's Guild, and your first quest is all down here at the docks. So you might as well just go into the Anvil Way Shrine at the Gold Coast and come down here, and there's going to be the Anvil Lighthouse and everything, and it's all going to take place between that lighthouse and right here on the docks. And if you go first to the Dark Brotherhood, you can't get in it. You have to earn entry into the Dark Brotherhood by doing a couple of things down here first. So I'll just let you know that. Yeah. So I know a lot of people are really into it and really delve in deep to the Dark Brotherhood. And the most accomplished title, I believe, that can be earned in the Dark Brotherhood guild, a skill line is called Silencer. And so when you see someone running around wearing the tag Silencer, that means they are a very accomplished assassin in the Dark Brotherhood. Yeah. All right. So the first lore book that I would like to read to you today, it's going to be found right here in under, let me get up there so you see. When you first come in, it's crafting motifs, and I could read you the crafting motif about the MORAG TONG, but you know, why? Anyways, come down here into the eidetic memory, and then just go down to lore and culture. And right there, Fire and Darkness, Part 1 and Part 2. So I'm going to read you these two books. Hey, Turnip King, good to see ya. All right. Fire and Darkness, The Brotherhoods of Death, Part 1, by Near Gorming, I guess. Brother. I shall call you brother, for we share our bonds of blood, tested but unbroken by hatred. Even if I am murdered, which seems inevitable now, know that, brother, you and I are not innocent, so our benedictions of mutual enmity is not tragic, but horror. This state of silent, shadowed war, of secret poisons and sleeping men strangled in their beds, of the sudden arrow and the artful dagger, has no end that I can see, no possibility for peace. I see the shadows in the room move through the flame of my candle is steady. I know the signs that This note was found where it had fallen beneath the floorboards of an abandoned house in the Nord village of Jotunheim in the 358th year of the Second Era. It was said that a quiet cobbler lived in the house, whispered by some to be a member of the dread MORAG TONG, the Assassin's Guild, outlawed throughout Tamriel 34 years previously. The house itself was perfectly in order, as if the cobbler had simply vanished. There was a single drop of blood on the note. The Dark Brotherhood had paid a call. This note and others like it are rare. Both the MORAG TONG and its hated child, excuse me, the Dark Brotherhood, are scrupulous above leaving no evidence behind. Their members know that to divulge secrets of their order is a lethal infraction. This obviously makes the job of the historian seeking to trace their histories very difficult. The MORAG TONG, according to most scholars, have been a facet of the culture of Morrowind almost since its beginning. After all, the history of Resdarn, the ancient name of Morrowind, is rife with assassination, blood sacrifice, and religious zealotry, hallmarks of the order. It is commonly said that the MORAG TONG, then as now, murdered for the glory of the Daedric prince, Mephala, but common assumptions are rarely completely accurate. It is my contention that the earliest form of the Tong additionally worshipped an even older and more malevolent deity than Mephala. As terrifying as that Prince of Oblivion is, they had and have reverence for a far greater evil. Writs of assassination from the First Era offer rare glimpses into the MORAG TONG's earliest philosophy. They are, as a matter of fact, as current-day writs, but many contain snatches of poetry which have perplexed our scholars for hundreds of years. Lisping, sibilant hisses, ether's sweet sway, rancid kiss of passing sin, and other strange, almost insane insertions into the writs were codes for the name of the person to be assassinated, his or her location, and the time at which death was to come. They were also direct references to the divine spirit called Sithis. Yes, that's a great one, isn't it? So, All right, let's continue to Fire and Darkness Part 2. Fire and Darkness, The Brotherhoods of Death Part 2 by Nerik Gorming. Evidence of the MORAG TONG's expertise in assassination seems scarcely necessary. The few instances of someone escaping a murder attempt by them are always remarkable and rare, proving that they were and are patient, capable murderers who use their tools well. A fragment of a letter found among the effects of a well-known armorer has been sealed in our vault for some time. It was likely penned by an unknown Tong assassin ordering weapons for his order, and offers some illumination into what they looked for in their blades, as well the mention of Onura, the island where the Tong sent its agents in retirement. I congratulate you on your artistry and the balance and heft of your daggers. The knife blade is whisper-thin, elegantly wrought, but impractical. It must have a bolder edge, for arteries, when cut, have a tendency to self-seal, preventing adequate blood loss. I will be leaving Vonora in 2 weeks' time to inspect your new tools, hoping they will be more satisfactory. The Morag Tong spread quietly throughout Tamriel in the early years of the Second Era, worshipping Mephala and Sithis with blood, as they had always done. And when the Morag Tong assassinated the Emperor Riemann in the year 2920 of the First Era, and his successor Potentate Versidue Shea in the 324th year of the Second Era, the assassins, so long in the shadows, were suddenly thrust into the light. They had become brazen, drunk with murder, literally painting the words Morag Tong on the wall in the potentate's blood. The Morag Tong was instantly and unanimously outlawed in all corners of Tamriel, well, with the exception of its home province of Morrowind. There, they continued to operate with the blessings of the houses, apparently cutting off all contact with their satellite brothers to the west. There they continue their quasi-legal existence, accepting black writs and murdering with impunity. Most scholars believe that the birth of the Dark Brotherhood, the secular murder-for-profit order of assassins, was as a result of a religious schism in the Morag Tong. Given the secrecy of both cults, it is difficult to divine the exact nature of it, but certain logical assumptions can be made. In order to exist, the Morag Tong must have appealed to the highest power in Morrowind, which at that time, the Second Era, could only have been the Tribunal of Alm Alexia, Sothis Seal, and Vivic. Mephala, whom the Tong worshipped with Sithis, was said to have been the anticipation of Vivic. It is not logical to assume that in exchange for toleration of their continued existence, the Tong would have ceased their worship of Mephala in exchange for the worship of Vivic. The Morag Tong continues, as we know, to worship Sithis. The Dark Brotherhood is not considered a religious order by most, merely a secular organization offering murder for gold. I have seen, however, proof positive in the form of writs to the Brotherhood that Sithis is still revered above all. So where, the reader asks, is the cause of the schism? How could a silent war have begun when both groups are so close? Both assassins' guilds, after all, worship Sithis, and yet a figure emerges from history who should give those with this assumption pause. The Night Mother. Who the Night Mother is, where she came from, what her functions are, no one knows. Karlovac Townway, in his generally well-researched historical fiction 2920, the last year of the First Era, tries to make her the leader of the Morag Tong, but she is never historically associated with the Tong, only the Dark Brotherhood. And the Night Mother, my dear friend, is Mephala, the Dark Brotherhood of the West, unfettered by the orders of the Tribunal, continue to worship Mephala. They may not call her by her name, but the Daedra of murder, sex, and secrets is their leader still, and they did not, and still do not, to this day, forgive their brethren for casting her aside. The cobbler, who met his end in the Second Era, who saw no end in the war between the Brotherhood and the Tong, was correct. In the shadows of the Empire, the Brothers of Death remain locked in combat, and they will likely remain that way forever. Oh, that's such an interesting story, isn't it? I mean, when you think about it, here are two factions of the same group, and they are really just going crazy with semantics, you know, names and all that good stuff. So before I go on to the next one, let me just take a moment here to look down at what's coming in on the chat. Hi, you guys. Oh, Supreme Goddess, you're funny. Yeah, I know I was drunk, right? Hi, Angry Birds. An Eldritch Girl. What's my favorite race? High Elf, of course, because that's what I am. Alone. Flower, your guild house is really pretty. Oh, did you go to the fog house? To the guild house? Yeah, it's really nice. I really enjoy it too. And hi, White Lines. You guys, I am so sorry. My voice is a little rough today. I'm maybe coming down with a little cold. I'm not quite sure, but the weather has changed and our temperatures have dropped, and you know, we just came out of a heat wave, and then the extreme cold, and then back into a heat wave, and then extreme cold. So it's finally catching up with me. I did mention earlier, it is that time of year. Yeah, it really is that time of year. I mentioned at the beginning about Sithis. And Sithis, I'm not going to really go into a lot because I don't want to, I want to save Sithis as I go more into the Argonians also. But as we know, we got the Sithis. And do all of you remember, I don't know, maybe some of you don't, but one of the very first episodes of the story time, I read, is it in this book? Yes, it's in this book, the Anun paraphrased. So I talked about the creation myth of Elderscrolls Online. And I talked about Anu and Padome. And I need to share with you, Padome is Sithis. For those of you who have not made that connection, Padome is Sithis's original name. So Padome was part of the void, of course, part of the origin and the creation of Nirn, and all of that good stuff. So if you want to know more about Sithis's origin, then go back and either read the Anud paraphrased or go in and rewatch the first two story times. Okay, so let me continue now. I want us to look at Mephala because she's important. So I'm coming back over here because I laid out a book right down here that I think we're going to want to look at. Yes, right there. It's on Vivic and Mephala. Hey, Whitehead. Well, stories, lore is what's up. Okay, here we go. Vivic and Mephala. Who is Almsavi? I don't know. Who is that? Morrowind is holy country, and its gods are flesh and blood. Collectively, these gods are called the Tribunal. Oh, I'm going to direct that just to T-Chard. In the Ebonheart pack, Roleplay Theater Hour, I do remember a conversation between Silent as Starlight, and Malice Inderil. And I do believe she was talking to him about how his gods were humans, and he was like, no, they're gods, and she's like, they're men claiming to be gods. Well, right here, did you hear what I just read, Teachard? Collectively, okay, Morrowind is holy country, and its gods are flesh and blood. Collectively, these gods are called the Tribunal. I'm just teasing you, giving you a hard time. All right. Anyways, the Trian Alm-Savi, 3 deities. Did you know Alm-Savi is what they're called? The Tribunal 3. Yes, living gods in flesh and blood. All right, 3 deities exemplifying Dunmeri virtues. Amalexia is mercy, Vivic is mastery, and Sothis Seal is mystery. Vivic is essentially the most popular of them all. Vivic is also the most public, for he is the beloved warrior poet of the true people, and paradoxically beautiful and bloody. Vivic is an artistic violence. Vivic is represented in temple literature and liturgy as one of the most divine kings of Morrowind. He guards the sacred Velothi subcontinent of Vardenfell and stands guard over Red Mountain. He is part of the Holy Tribunal, a god of the new temple, and an aspect of the blessed and righteous Alm-Savi. This explicit representation of Vivic, the guardian god, king, and warrior poet, is one most accessible and familiar to Westerners. However, it is important to remember that Vivic is also known to the Dunmer as the transcendent evolution of the Daedra that anticipated him. Black Hands Mephala, a foundation figure of the earliest Chimer. This darker side of Vivic does not appear in the popular literature and liturgy, but is instinctively understood and accepted by the Dunmer as an integral part of Vivic's divine aspect. A more complete appreciation of the complex nature of Vivic requires an understanding of the nature of Vivic's anticipation, Mephala, and the darker themes represented by the Daedra Lords, modes, and motivations. I want to read that just one more time to make sure I'm understanding this. It is important to remember that Vivic is also known to the Dunmer as the transcendent evolution of the Daedra that anticipated him. Black Hands Mephala. All right, who is Mephala? Yes, I already read that out of the book. That's correct. Each of the 3 tribunes of the temple were represented in the dawn of Chimeric culture by their anticipations. These anticipations are known to the West as the sinister Daedra Lords Azura, Bothia, and Mephala. In temple theology, however, Azura is the anticipation of Sothis Seal, the Mage Lord of Alm-Savi. Bothia is the anticipation of Almalexia, Alm-Savi's mother and lady. Mephala is the anticipation of Vivic. According to legend, under the guidance of these 3 Daedra Lords of a discontented throng of Altmir, transformed themselves into a new people and founded a new land. And while Bothia, the so-called Prince of Plots, provided the revolutionary methods needed to bring about this transformation, Mephala was the shadowy implementer of those methods. As known in the West, Mephala is the demon of murder, sex, and secrets. All of these themes contain subtle aspects and violent ones: assassination, genocide, courtship, orgy, tact, poetic truths. Mephala is understood paradoxically to contain and integrate these contradictory themes, and all these subtle undercurrents and contradictions are present in the Dunmere concepts of Vivic, even if they are not explicitly described and explained in temple doctrine. The Dunmere do not envision Lord Vivic as a creature of murder, sex, and secrets. Rather, they conceive of Lord Vivic as benevolent king, guardian warrior, poet, artist, but at the same time, unconsciously, they accept the notion of darker, hidden currents beneath Vivic's benevolent aspects. For example, one of the most striking, persistent myths associated with Vivic is the story that Vivic conspired with his co-rulers Alamexia and Sothis Sil in the murder of Lord Nerevar, the greatest of Dunmere heroes and generals. And the story is derived from Ashlander oral tradition and is flatly contradicted by all temple traditions. Nonetheless, the tale is firmly established in the Dunmere imagination, as if to say, of course, Vivic would never have conspired to murder Lord Nerevar, but it happened so long ago. Who can know the truth? The public face of Vivic is benign, sensitive, compassionate, and protective of his followers. At the same time, the Dunmere seem irrationally comfortable with the hidden aspects of Vivic, the darker components of violence, lust, and conspiracy associated with the more primitive and ruthless impulses of the anticipations. Now that's quite an interesting reality, that those three Daedric princes are actually the origin of the tribunal gods. And so what it's showing us is there's a light side and a dark side, and one must always remember the dark side because that's there, and it makes sense for the dark side to be in shadow because and to be really honored by the Assassin's Guild or the Dark Brotherhood, because they are shadows themselves. So it's quite interesting. Teacher, you're funny. Hey, Dream Soldier, nice to see you. And Red Vault, hi, nice to see you. And also Kira, nice to see you again. Well, here it is written in the lore books. So Vivic is Mephala. Mephala is Vivic. They are deeply and intimately connected. And to know one means you have to know the other. Otherwise, there's no balance. I love reading stuff like that. Okay, I have to take off my hood now because it's hard to read with the hood on, if you've ever wondered about that. So I'm going to take it off. And by the way, I am using the assassin's personality today. Just the basic assassin, and not the brassy assassin, but just the basic assassin, so that I'm twirling that dagger, the blade of woe, around. So yeah, there you have it. Now you can really see the MORAG TONG eyes. Okay, so now what I want to do is I just want to take a moment to look at do want to look at. Well, I just want to finish up just a moment about Mephala, and then I want to look at the Dark Brotherhood. Okay. So Mephala, and in a minute we're gonna look at the Night Mother too, because Mephala is the Night Mother, or the Night Mother is a secret name for Mephala. Yes, Turnip King. For a lot of people feel that way. But Mephala, of course, you know, she's that Daedric prince, right? And she has a lot of different names. So when you're reading lore, when you're in role play or in a dungeon, and you hear mention of web spinner, plot weaver, androgyny, the spinner, the spider, the teacher of the secret arts, the queen of the 8 shadows of murder, the silver spider, the spider god, the dark one, the whispering lady, the lady of whispers, and the queen of oblivion. This is all Mephala. These are all acronyms for, or not acronyms. They're all I forget the word now. I just went blank on the name. Euphemisms for Mephala, because remember, Mephala was forbidden to be acknowledged and honored by a sect of the Black Brotherhood, and so they began to euphemize her, and so I think that's really, you know, and Mephala, you know, she does really keep a lot of interaction with mortals, with men, for her own amusement. Another important point of interest with regards to Mephala, now hear this, listen to this thread, because the deeper you delve into the lore of Elderscrolls Online, the more you do see the web, the more you see the connecting threads. Mephala is the sister of Hermaeus Mora. Okay, and we haven't looked at any of his lore yet. We will, but Mephala is the sister to Hermaeus Mora. So and the only thing I'll say, you know, they're siblings, right? And so they're dealing with knowledge. The you know, he's the demon of knowledge, and she's the demon of secrets. Do you see the connection there? Because he's all about his secrets, isn't he? Isn't he? He's all about keeping his knowledge secret. Okay, now, he collects knowledge of all sorts, and Mephala cares only about knowledge that is obscure and undisclosed. So to keep an interest, so for Hermaeus Mora to keep his sibling Mephala interested in him, he forces it all to be secret, right? And then Mephala loves it because she only cares about knowledge that's obscure, undisclosed, and secretive. So, you know, she doesn't care about the well-being of mortals. She's just interested in knowledge. And I think that's really important to be aware of with regards to these well, thank you, Eldritch. And oh my goodness, Red Vault has is doing something to me. He is saying it is time to hydrate. So everybody viewing this right now, I'm stopping, and I'm inviting you to stop too and take up your water or whatever beverage you're drinking, and let's all have a long drink together. First of all, wait just a second. I'm going to make my little character here show you. Let's see. Maybe I'll go back to the beginning and let's see. Do I have something out here to drink? Well, I could do this one. I could have her sit and drink. Okay, everyone, drink up now. Nourish yourself. And he's done it twice, so we're going to have a second. We're going to have a second drink, long drink of our beverage. Ready? Here we go. I'm drinking Evian, made by the French Alps. There you go. Thanks a lot for that, Red Vault. I needed to be reminded to drink. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're gonna read about the Night Mother right now, and okay. It went through. It doesn't show you on your side, but it comes through on my side, so. Or maybe it does come through on your side. I don't know. Don't worry. I got two long sips. 2 long sips. All right. Night Mother, Night Mother. We do have a statue for the Night Mother, right? Everybody knows that. Hold on. Let me, we have statues for all of these. I should have brought them out. I don't think I have the Night Mother out. Which, it's okay. All right. So let me, let's read about the Night Mother. Okay, so we're going back down here to the journal, the lore library, and oh, I know I have her. I know she's somewhere in here, but I might not know exactly where it is. So if I don't, it's okay, because I'm sorry, you guys. I should have had this. See, this is when I wish in lore and culture we had a search. We had a search to be able to quickly find. Here we go. The Night Mother's Truth. Okay, let's read this. There's another one too. There's 2 about the Night Mother. The Night Mother right there, and then I think it's down here. Okay, but I don't have any of those, so let me come back up here to the Night Mother, and we're going to read about the Night Mother. Today I'm a little more serious. Today we're not going to have a fun hour, because this is also serious. The Night Mother's Truth by Gaston Bellefort. Although various works have been written on the subject of both Morrowind's MORAG TONG and Tamriel's more widespread Dark Brotherhood, there remains confusion as to precisely when and how these 2 feared assassin guilds formed, or more specifically, when and how the Dark Brotherhood split from the MORAG TONG, as the former is widely accepted to have sprung from the latter. MORAG TONG first, Dark Brotherhood second. So the largest point of contention seems to be the figure of the Night Mother, a woman who figures prominently in both organizations. Through extensive research and interviews, and not inconsiderable risk to my own life, for the Dark Brotherhood holds this information sacred, I have finally solved this age-old mystery. I have finally uncovered the Night Mother's truth. Although her name has been lost to time, the Night Mother was once a mere mortal, a dark elf woman. Oh, this is so funny. All right. A dark elf woman who lived in a small village and once located where the city of Bravil stands now in the imperial province of Cyrodiil. She was a respected member of the MORAG TONG, and like her fellow members, this woman made her trade as an assassin in service to the Daedric prince Mephala. In fact, the woman held the title of Night Mother, reserved for the highest-ranking female member of the organization. To be Night Mother of a particular sect was to be that group's matron, the favored Mephala, both respected and feared. However, it was not Mephala who facilitated the transformation from woman to scepter, but another, some would say, far deeper form of evil, Sithis, the Dreadlord, embodiment of the unending void. Following the potentate's assassination in the Second Era 324, strife descended upon the MORAG TONG, and the guild was all but eradicated in Cyrodiil and much of the Empire. It was shortly after these events that the Dunmer woman claimed to hear the voice of Sithis himself. The Dreadlord, she claimed, was displeased. He was unhappy with the MORAG TONG's lack of success. The void, he told her, was hungry for souls, and it was her destiny to set things right. And so, according to dark Brotherhood legend, Sithis visited the Night Mother in her bedchamber and begat her 5 children. Oh, we've got a little clandestine love affair happening here. Let's see, 2 years passed before the unthinkable happened. The dark elf woman followed through with the Dreadlord's ultimate plan. One night, she murdered her children and sent their souls straight to the void, straight to their father. Well, first of all, unless she had triplets and twins, it would have been impossible for her to have 5 children in 2 years. Does everybody agree with that? All right, but this is lore. This is myth. The dark elf woman, and sent their souls straight to the void, straight to their father. You know, doesn't Sithis and Molag Bal sort of have similar identities with regards to the collecting souls? Well, when they learned of this affront to decency, the people of the village rallied against the woman, for such an act was considered incomprehensible even for a Night Mother of the MORAG TONG. In one night of vengeance, they descended upon the woman, killing her and burning down the house in which the atrocity took place. And that was the end of the story, or so everyone thought. A little more than 30 years later, an unnamed man heard a strange, comforting voice inside his very head, just as the Dunmer woman claimed to hear the voice of Sithis inside hers. The voice identified as the Night Mother and named the man Listener, the first of many. And so the unholy matron set her servant on his path. He would found a new organization, a guild of assassins known as the Dark Brotherhood, in service not to Mephala, but to the Dreadlord Sithis. And the MORAG TONG, now surviving only in Morrowind, was an artifact of a forgotten age, and the Dark Brotherhood would marry business with death. The organization would grow in wealth and power, and the void would swell with fresh souls. It was the Night Mother, told her listener, the perfect arrangement. And in her early days of the Dark Brotherhood, the bodies of the Night Mother and her children were recovered from their original burial site and interred in a crypt beneath the site of her house, and there they remain even today. So in your travels, you may find yourself in the city of Bravil and make a wish at the statue of the lucky old lady, as is the local custom. Know that you stand on sacred, if evil, ground, for you stand above the Night Mother, the unholy matron herself, and your luck has just run out. Oh, that's an awesome story. Really, it's an awesome story. Anyways, what's up? Hey, you guys. Welcome, viewers. I really appreciate you. Yeah, boy, oh boy. some of these myths are really incredible. And that Night Mother, the Night Mother, we have a wonderful statue for her, you know, and to know that it was supposedly the Night Mother who gave birth, kind of, you could say that, gave birth to the Dark Brotherhood is really, really kind of interesting, don't you think so? So, and you know, she is believed to be the only person or the only divinity or the only Daedra or the only whatever to have ever come face to face with Sithis. So, interesting, isn't it? So if you ever are called listener in the Dark Brotherhood, well, then you're listening to hear the voice and the direction of Night Mother. Anyways, all right. I want to, let me do a time check here. Let's do a time check. Oh my gosh, we're almost to the end of our time. Let me talk about the Brothers of Darkness. Brothers of Darkness. And the Thieves Guild, you know, is also, it's not MORAG TONG, all right, but it is an offshoot of the Dark Brotherhood. And we're not going to go there. We're not going to look at the Thieves Guild, but it branched out of Dark Brotherhood, if you didn't know that. So we have threads. You can see some threads happening here, right? All right, let's look at the Dark Brotherhood, and then, excuse me. I don't know if I have a book for it. Let's see. Do I have a book for it? We all know the infamous handprint, right? That's their trademark. And who of you have encountered, I can't think of his name right now, but he always shows up. There's a big quest that we do, and it's involving the Dark Brotherhood. And oh gosh, I just love that dark elf. I love how he sounds. I enjoy interacting with him, but I don't remember. But that's about the shadow, that black hand, you know, is part of the and you know, there's supposedly like 4 or 5 different, or 4 sanctuaries of the Dark Brotherhood, but the Falkreach Sanctuary, Sadenal Sanctuary, Gold Coast Sanctuary, Zith is Cool Sanctuary. So I have never been to any of those. I don't know if they're actually real in the game or not. Excuse me. But the I just wanted to see if there was any lore on the Dark Brotherhood that I can read. Sorry, I'm a little ill-prepared. I've been ill-prepared, it seems, these last... the Brothers of Darkness is lore. The Brothers of Darkness, and I'm going to read a brief history of the Dark Brotherhood. I'm sorry, I can't find the book right now to open it up in World, so I'm actually... Dark Brotherhood. Let's see. I'm sorry, you guys. I will find it, and if anybody's really interested, you can contact me and ask me about it, okay? Alright. So let me just read to you, shall I? I'm just going to read to you this book called The Brothers of Darkness by Pelarn Assi, a brief history of the Dark Brotherhood. As their name suggests, the Dark Brotherhood has a history shrouded in obfuscation. I don't know what that. I never heard of that word before. Their ways are secret to those who are not themselves brothers of the order. Brother is a generic term. Some of their deadliest assassins are females, but they are often called brothers as well. How they continue to exist in shadow, but be easily found by those desperate enough to pay for their services, is not the least of the mysteries surrounding them. The Dark Brotherhood sprang from a religious order, the MORAG TONG, during the Second Era. The MORAG TONG were worshippers of the Daedra spirit Mephala, who encouraged them to commit ritual murders, and in their early years they were as disorganized as only obscure cultists could be. There was no one to lead the band, and as a group they dared not murder anybody of any importance, and this changed with the rise of the Night Mother. All leaders of the MORAG TONG and then afterward the Dark Brotherhood have been called the Night Mother. Whether the same woman, if it is even a woman, has commanded the Dark Brotherhood since the Second Era is unknown. What is believed is that the original Night Mother developed an important doctrine of the MORAG TONG, the belief that while Mephala does grow stronger with every murder committed in her name, certain murders were better than others. Murders that came from hate pleased Mephala more than murders committed because of greed. Murders of great men and women pleased Mephala more than murders of relative unknowns. We can approximate the time this belief was adopted with the first known murder committed by the MORAG TONG. In the year 324 of the Second Era, the potentate Vir-Sidu Shai was murdered in his palace in what is today the Ellsworth Kingdom of Shankal. In a brash move, the Night Mother announced the identity of the murderers by painting MORAG TONG on the walls in the potentate's own blood. So, the first mention of the Dark Brotherhood that I have found is from the journals of the Blood Queen, Arlemenhera of Hagathi. She spoke of slaying her enemies by her own hand, or if necessary, with the help of the Night Mother and her Dark Brotherhood, the secret arsenal my family has employed since my grandfather's time. Arlemenhera wrote this in Second Era 412. So one can surmise that the Dark Brotherhood had been in existence since at least 360, if her grandfather had truly made use of them. So I believe the important distinction between the Dark Brotherhood and the MORAG TONG was that the Brotherhood was a business as much as it was a cult. The MORAG TONG is a cult, and that's important. The MORAG TONG had a form of worship. And the Dark Brotherhood of today has no shortage of business opportunities and accounting. And I have been informed that Brotherhood's favorite euphemism for an execution is called accounting. And while they are officially considered an unlawful organization, in every corner of the empire, like the Thieves Guild, they are almost as universally tolerated. Now, does a person need to be in the Thieves Guild? No, only if they want to follow that guild. An Assassin Guild, you would be the Assassin Guild and Brotherhood, Dark Brotherhood go hand in hand. So you're in both. Like, you become an assassin to enter the Dark Brotherhood. Okay? So that's important. I don't know if by just becoming a thief, you go into... Assassins are awesome. I suppose that... I kind of... Turnip King, I kind of am taking that you're an assassin in the Dark Brotherhood, because you like both of those. So I can see that. Yeah. Well, my friends, today has gone a little bit longer than normal. And I do want to thank you for being part of the Friday Tamriel Storyteller Hour. You all rock. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Thank you. And I'll see you next Friday. And if all goes well, I'm going to do the Dark Elves. Don't know for sure. I might go to the Argonians first and then to the Dark Elves. I may do neither. Don't know. All right, you guys, take care and have a great rest of your Friday. And I'll see you again. Bye for now.